Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Daily Code Challenges. I'm so excited to be here. Today we have another very interesting code challenge. Okay, so here is what we have for today. It's called first and last. It says write a function first and last that takes in an array of numbers and returns the sum of the first and last elements if there is an even number of elements in the array. If there is an odd number of elements in the array, then the function should return the difference between the first and last element of the array. Alright, so what this means is that here in line 11, we can see that we have 4 items in this array, right? That means we are expected to find the sum of the first item and the last item, and that gives us 5. On line 12, we can see here that we have 5 items in the array, right? That means we have an odd number array. So this means that we are expected to find the difference between the first item in the array and the last item in the array, which is 1 minus 5, which gives us minus 4. And that goes for the rest of them. All right, so let's see how we can code these, right? Okay, so let's go into the code implementation. Let's begin by writing the function keyword and then also writing the function name, which is first and last. Then we change params to array. Yes, because we want to use array this time. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to look through this array, right? To look through every value, every item in this array. So we are going to be using the for loop. We say for, we change index to I, and then we leave array as it is because the parameter here is array. Therefore, this part also should be array. Then we remove this line of code. We don't need it. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we need to write a condition, and this condition is going to help us check if the array is if it's of even number or if it's odd array, meaning that if the total number of items in the array is even. So that's what we want to check right now. So we are going to be using the if statement. We say if, then we say array dot length modulus 2 equals 0. So this line of code simply tests if a value is even or odd, right? So for this tests if a value is even. If I were to put 1 here, or rather if I were to say not equal to 0, this tests if a given number is odd, right? So here we want to check if the total number of items in the array is odd. So we is even rather. Therefore, we simply just put this. Okay, so if it's even, what do we want to do? We want to find the sum of the first item and the last item. So for the first item, we say array 0 plus. Now for the last item, we say array square bracket array dot length minus 1. Now, why is it array dot length minus 1 to get the last item? Looking at this, let's take line 19 and line 20 as case study, right? For line 19, we can see that we have 4 items. How do we get the last item now? Because here we have 4 items. We know that since there are 4 items, the last item is simply on index 3, which is 4 minus 1, right? On line 20, we can see that here we have 5 items. How can we get the last item? Since there are 5 items, we simply say 5 minus 1, that's 4. That means that the last item is on the 4th index, right? And that's how we come about array dot length minus 1, right? Okay, so this checks for if the array is an odd array. Then we understand that if that is that, then otherwise every other thing should be odd array, right? Before that, we shouldn't forget to write the return statement here. Okay, so if the array is not an even array, we want to return the difference between the first item and the last item, which is going to be array 0 minus, in this case, not plus, and then the others remain the same. Array dot length minus 1. So let's remember to also return this. Then let me save this. Okay, saving this, the code gets properly formatted, right? So the code looks very easy to read now. Okay, let's run this code and see if we are going to be getting 5 minus 4, 17, 0, and 4. So I come here to run the code. Okay, so we have 5 minus 4, 17, 0, and 4, right? Which are the expected results given, right? So I believe with this, we've been able to implement the code for first and last, right? So this is how it works. This is how it works. Okay, so let's see if we can also write this in while loop, right? In the last episode we actually had, in the last session, there was a trick I shared with us, and I said what we can do here is we simply just come here, we cut this, then we place it here. We also cut this, remove the semicolon, and then we come to paste it here directly inside the while loop. Then we change this for also to while. So this becomes a while loop, right? This becomes a while loop. So let's see if this works fine. Let's not forget that we are supposed to paste this directly inside the while loop. Let's see where the while loop is. Okay, so here, if it's that directly in the while loop, return also is directly in the while loop. Let's see if we can place it here and if it's going to work. Let's see if this works fine. All right, so this is how we can convert our for loop to while loop, right? Taking this out will make our code messy. Let me comment this and see what comes of our code. Let's run this. Okay, turns out it still works fine. Okay, so let's just take it back to the for loop as it were. All right, so I save this again and I run. So we still get the same result. Okay, all right, so this is how I've been able to implement this code challenge first and last, right? And we can see that it works very fine. So I believe there are so many other ways that this can be implemented. So if you've been able to work yours in other ways, please share in the comment section below, right? And also, I would like that if you found this video interesting or helpful, like it and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on the notification, right, so that you can be updated when new videos dropping. All right, so thank you very much for being around and for joining this class, and bye.